if there's anyone who has not received a ballot yet, see Carrie after the meeting. You don't have that telephone number, do you, Carrie, available?
I do, just not right here. I have it over there at the table.
For some reason, if the ballot was lost and they have a means of verifying at state UUP, Mandy, if you could sign in, please. I'm sorry, if you could sign in, please. And Carrie, do we have a telephone number?
Yeah, just a second.
Okay. Well, let me go on while Carrie's looking for that.
Oh, I got it right
Okay.
here. I just needed to get to it.
I'll let you read it.
It's 209-259-6740, extension 2.
If that went fast for you, just see Carrie before you leave. She'll get it. Hopefully all of you have received the ballot, but things sometimes happen in the U.S. mail. Or otherwise there'd be no FedEx, right? So do see Carrie if your ballot, for whatever reason, has been lost, and we can verify it. And vote. You know, vote according to conscience and vote according, obviously, to your beliefs of what should go on. A number of the election spots are contested, and it's important to vote. It'll have a great deal of bearing on the future of UUP. In addition, we have a workload survey, which Dr. Jen Ting Wang, where is Jen Ting? Is Jen Ting? Oh, Jen Ting is right here. Who's put a lot of time into the survey. It's a professional quality. It's important to have your feedback on this. And if, again, Jen Ting, if someone has not received the survey, you have to be a member to get the survey, but if someone has not received the survey, what should they do?
Email me.
Okay, email Jen Ting. And Jen Ting's email, as if she's in mid-mail, so I won't ask her to give her email, but just look in the directory if you haven't received it. Everybody who is a member should have received one. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Lorraine Tyler. Lorraine does so many things within the chapter. Along with Carrie, she arranges our special events. Lorraine is responsible also as the officer for contingents. She's the director of COARM. She's on our outreach where we deal with members of the legislature. In fact, today we're going to meet with Senator Seward. Tomorrow we're going to meet with Assemblyman Salka. Right across the board, on the executive board, a delegate. And if I cited all her titles, there'll be no time for the program. So without further ado, Lorraine.
Thanks, Joe. Somebody once said to me after I retired that the union was my hobby, and I guess that's probably true. I'm lots more active now in union than I was before I retired. But anyway, welcome to our Retirees in Training program. I just want to remind you of two things. One is to vote, but May 5th is our annual picnic, and you'll be getting emails about that, but I just wanted to remind you, that will be at college camp. My retirement has been really interesting, but one thing I wanted to just say to you is it took me 3 times before I retired. So I'm well practiced in retirement. First time I retired from the Department of Human Ecology, but my husband, who was in the math department, was not ready to retire. So I went to work 80% with Eileen McClafferty in student advisement for 4 years. What fun that was. So that was my second retirement. Was in May of 2007, but Eileen needed me for the summer, so I came back and actually retired a 3rd time in August of 2007. So I am well practiced. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Also, there are many UUP benefits for you in retirement. Walter's going to talk about some of those. But I need to know when you retire so I can be sure that you get an application, because that's what puts your benefits into action. So when you retire, just send me an email so I can be sure you get this. It's in your packet today, but you just want to make sure everybody gets one. And one of the benefits of retirement is the ARM, which is the Active Retiree Membership Group from UUP. We're divided into districts. I do the Southern District, and we have 2 luncheons every year. Dues right now are $50 a year. Easily, that $50 pays for your 2 luncheons. So easy way to get your dues money back. But it's a great deal of fun. We have a wonderful panel today. Walter Apple's going to go first, and he's going to talk about the UUP benefits in retiring. And Walter is our benefits specialist in Albany for retirees. Gail Pure, who is in Human Resources as benefit administrator, is going to talk with you about how-to kinds of things and what to think about as you're ending your years at SUNYO and going into retirement. And then Marianne Dowdell is going to tell you, she's a retired professor from human ecology, how she made the decision to retire, what led up to it, and how much she's enjoying retirement. So without further ado, Walter.
Yeah, retirement. I go around, give a bunch of these presentations throughout the state. This week I was in Binghamton Tuesday, up in Saratoga for the Empire State yesterday, and now down here today, so all over the place. Oswego next week, but the snow will be gone by then, so maybe keep bleeding. Yeah, first day of spring started yesterday, and you guys welcome it in with, what, 4 inches of snow today?
No,
Yeah.
4 to 8.
All right, UUP retiree membership. Like Lorraine said, membership is important while you're active, important while you're retired, because we have a lot of benefits available for you, and we watch out for you as well. So if the governor tries to pull any little tricks, which he likes to do with his budget proposal, this year he's trying to pull a few things with Medicare reimbursement. You know, we notice that, and I notice that, because I go through the budget proposal when the governor releases it in January. And if things are going to affect our current retirees and future retirees, I get our retiree groups together. I get them activated and motivated to contact their representatives and say, hey, this can't go through as it's being proposed because it's going to have negative effects on the retirees. And, you know, we look out for you as active and retired. So membership, $50 annually. We do a September to September membership. We do bill out for this. If you retire, everybody in here is a member, but if you know somebody who's a non-member, the old fee payer term, you need to let them know that if they retire as a non-member, we cannot allow them to sign up for retiree membership, and they will not be eligible for any of these benefits that I'm going to tell you about. And really, if they give me a call, I'll still help them. That's my own personal internal system, is I'm still going to help anybody, but I should be telling them, hey, you're a non-member, I can't help you at all, I'm sorry, you need to go elsewhere, but I'll still be there to help people. So membership, if you come on mid-year, a lot of people say, what if I retire in May and I sign up to be a retired member? I'm paying $50 from May until September, and then I have to pay another $50? No, what will happen is you'll pay $50 from May through September, then you'll get a credit that carries over into next year. So your second year dues will not be $50. It may wind up being about $22 for your second year. So we give you that little benefit there. Membership allows you to receive any benefits through UUP, New York State United Teachers, as well as AFT. Some of them are listed here: travel discounts, auto and home insurance discounts, Hyatt Legal Services. It's a great plan. We're not in open enrollment right now, but I still tell people about it. Open enrollment will be in November. $189 a year covers everything. The only things it doesn't cover is divorce and suing your employer. So if you're going to retire, don't get a divorce in retirement, use the service, and don't sue your employer, right? Unum Travel Assistance and the $1,000 life insurance policy. $1,000 life insurance, some people look at it and say, well, that's not a lot of money. If you think that's not a lot of money, I can be your newest nephew. I would like $1,000. Nobody's ever taken me up on that offer. Maybe someday somebody will. Unum Travel Assistance. Does everyone know about Unum Travel Assistance in this room? Yes, no? No. There's information in your packets. There's a sheet like this that explains it, right? And then there's a card. It's within the active retiree membership application. I stick it in there. Looks like this, and the bottom's just a tear-off card. This is eligible for you right now as active members, as active employees with UUP, and it's eligible for our retiree group, okay? So you sign up for retiree benefits, you start traveling. Very important to keep this card with you. You put it with your passport if you're going out of the country. You put it with your driver's license, your car registration. If a true emergency happens and you are more than 100 miles away from home, you turn to the number on the card. They will get you the assistance that you need. Some people ask, is there a cost involved? I cannot really tell you yes and no, because it's going to be based off whatever the circumstance is. But I've had retirees that have utilized this service that have never had to pay a dime. They've gone into a hospital overseas, they've been there 2 or 3 days, and they've walked out scot-free. They've never had to pay anything by going through this service, okay? We've had people fly back from overseas that have gotten injured, no cost to them, they've covered the services. But it will cover good things too. It covers translation services. You go to a country, you don't really know the language, get them on the horn, they will help you with that information. You're traveling overseas and you pass away, or your spouse passes away, it happens. They will help get the body back to the United States, okay? Lost passport, you know, if you've ever been overseas, some countries, there's a lot of pickpockets out there, right? Your passport may disappear if you're not careful, and you'll never know it until you decide, hey, it's time to go back home a week later, and now all of a sudden, where's your passport? Turn to the number on the card. They will get you the assistance that you need to get you back into the United States, okay? My last story on that is I had retirees traveling last summer out in California. They lost their prescriptions, and they called the number on the card. They had prescriptions delivered that night to them at the hotel. Okay, so they didn't have to cancel their trip. I mean, I'm insulin dependent, so if I lose my insulin, it gets stolen, I'm out of luck. I'm either eating a lot of salad for the remainder of my vacation, or I'm going home, right? So turn to the number. Like I said, it's eligible for you right now as active members. So COBRA, as it relates to your dental and vision coverage, your dental and vision coverage is with UUP. When you retire, we are not going to remove this coverage right away. You're going to go into a grace period. That grace period is roughly 2 months from your actual retirement date. So we just continue your coverage as if you're still employed. At the end of that grace period, we will send you out a COBRA contract. UUP is going to mail that out to you, so make sure your address is up to date with us if you're going to move. COBRA can be available for 18 months as long as you continue payments, and COBRA covers just the dental and vision. It has nothing to do with your health care, okay? After COBRA, if you decide you don't want COBRA, we do have voluntary plans, and I'm going to run through those as well. But the rates are right there, $45.03 per month for individual, $107.74 per month for family, covers both dental, vision, same exact benefits that you have now. Now, you can pay this as far ahead as you want. I like to put that up there. The reason is COBRA does not send out a monthly bill. So when you sign up for this, you're not going to receive a monthly bill in the mail from UUP for your COBRA. You're going to receive a sheet of coupons, and that's your only reminder to make the payments. If you forget to make a payment, UUP is going to take you off the COBRA coverage and then say, we do have a voluntary plan available, but the voluntary plan has less benefits and more costs. Okay, so you can pay it as far ahead as you want. I always encourage people to pay at least 2 months to begin with. It gives you that little bit of cushion there in case you keep forgetting. Okay. Voluntary dental plans. After COBRA runs its course, we will send you a letter about 16, 17 months in, saying your COBRA is coming to an end. And we remind you that there are voluntary plans available. You don't need to take these voluntary plans. I always tell my groups that I present this to, don't take the voluntary dental and voluntary vision just because I talk about it and just because UUP offers it. Look around and see what's out there for you. Whatever's going to work better for you and keep money in your pocket is great, okay? And I'm not going to be upset if you don't take our voluntary dental or voluntary vision plan. It's there if you need it. If you don't need it, don't take it, okay? So Delta Dental PPO and Delta Dental Care. We do have 2 offers. I don't know if Delta Dental Care works well down here. There's probably not a lot of providers in this area. You probably have to head up to Syracuse or maybe down to Binghamton to find a provider. The difference between the 2, PPO, you have the choice on your own to go in and out of network. So you can make that decision. You can go in-network provider, out-of-network provider. That's your choice. Delta Dental Care, you have to select a participating provider. It's mandatory. That's who you go to for all of your work. If they cannot do the work, they will send you to a specialist that can, okay? You'll see cost-wise, the Delta Dental Care is less. A lot of times people will look at that and say, well, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to go for the one that costs less. But just remember what I just said. You have to see a participating provider. So you can always check deltadentalins.com. Check to see who participates in your area. If there's none, or if you don't like those providers, then don't choose the Delta Dental Care plan, okay? Benefit-wise, there's no implant coverage. If you've ever had a dental implant, or if your dentist has said you need an implant, get it done while you're actively employed, get it done under COBRA. Do not get it done under these voluntary plans, because there's no benefit. And dental implants, you're looking maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for one implant, okay? So they are very expensive. Also available to you with your retiree membership, MetLife Dental, that's through New York State United Teachers. They do cover implants under that plan, but they only have a $1,500 maximum, so it's a low max. And about 3 weeks after retirement, you're going to receive a contract in the mail from Emblem Health Dental. That's the dental coverage for New York State retirees. They mail that out right away. If your dentist participates with Emblem Health, then give it a look. If they don't, it's probably not going to be worth it. Probably just wait for our plan. One thing on these voluntary dental and vision plans, and I'm going to get hit on vision next, is once you sign up for these plans, if you drop them, we do not allow you to come back onto the voluntary side, okay? So it looks, I always explain it this way. The PPO is $124, $125 per quarter. So we're in the first quarter right now, January, February, and March. So say your dentist says, hey, you're going to need 3 or 4 crowns. You pick up our voluntary plan, you get all of your crowns done in March, January, February, January, February, March, did that backwards there. So you get your crowns done, and then you say, now my teeth are healthy, I don't need this dental plan anymore, so you drop out of it. You just decide not to pay the next quarter. December comes around, and now you need 2 more crowns. So you say, hey, I want to get back into the plan. You give me a call, you contact me, now you have to go back and pay those back quarters, right? So we make you pay the back quarters, even if you didn't use it during that time. So if you drop it, unless you have a really, really good reason, like you came back to work and they gave you the coverage again, that's a good valid reason. Voluntary vision, same exact coverage you have now through Davis Vision, a pair of glasses and a vision exam 1 every 12 months, $43.42 per quarter for individual, $78.15 per quarter for family. Just by being a retired member, your $50 annual dues, we automatically put you into this Davis Vision Value Advantage. There's a yellow sheet in your packets that explains it and has the costs involved. It's a discounted program through Davis Vision. So if you don't get glasses every year, maybe you only go once every 2 years, or a lot of times people will get cataract surgery, cleans up their vision, now they don't need glasses. They can utilize a discounted plan down the road. No need to pay for a plan that you're not going to utilize, right? On our voluntary side, you can go, you can choose one or the other. So if you just want vision, you can just take vision. Just want dental, just take dental. We give you that option. This is my final information. Just my information's up there. It's in your packets as well. I also have business cards if you want those. I'll be near the door handing them out when you guys head out of here. Any questions on what I had for UUP side? Yeah.
So when you say family, is it up to 26?
Oh, family for dependent children. We cover, on the voluntary side, we actually cover dependent children up to age 29.
Oh, thank you.
On the voluntaries, yep. Yes?
I heard that the implants were covered for civil service. Are they covered for UUP as well for dental?
They're covered right now on your active coverage.
They are.
So your active coverage does cover implants, yep, but the voluntary plan does not.
Is there a website where we can go to see the?
Yeah, if you go right to our main website, uupinfo.org, and right from the main screen, hover over or click on benefits, right in the middle of the screen there. That will take you to the benefits page. And then on the right-hand side of the benefits page, you'll see it will say, I believe it says Delta Dental. And just click on that, and you can choose Delta Dental PPO. I think it throws a group number up there. Your group number is 0165 for active members, and that will give you all the benefits on the plan. If you have problems, give us a call. We can walk you right through it. Yeah.
If you don't go to a participating dentist,
Yes.
still some coverage?
Yeah, if you don't go to a participating dentist, still coverage. The benefit of going participating is they're contracted with Delta Dental to charge a certain rate. So they have to charge that rate, and if their normal rate is over it, then that's their write-off. If you go non-participating, they can really charge you whatever they want, because they don't participate with Delta Dental, so they can charge whatever they want. It's still gonna pay the appropriate percentage, just your out-of-pocket maybe more. Is that right? Everyone good? All right, I'm gonna be around. I'm not running right out the door, so I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. one of those that had cataract surgery, and if you knew me my whole life, I wore glasses from the time I was 9 until I had that cataract surgery. So I don't have a vision plan. I don't need one. I use reading glasses. These were $1 from Walmart. A lot cheaper than the visual. Yeah, all set?
I believe so. Thank
Our
you,
next
Lorraine.
speaker is Gail Hewitt from Human Resources. Thanks, Gail.
You're welcome. Nice to see everybody here today. As Bill alluded to, retirement planning starts decades before actually retiring. I usually say the first day you're hired, you should start planning for retirement. So I only have 10 minutes, so I'm going to run through a lot of material to kind of whet your appetite, and then we'll see how much time we have for questions. And you can always call the office at 2509 and ask to schedule a meeting to meet with me individually. On the center of the tables is just a couple each of these different flyers that show when our retirement vendors are here on campus, either to meet with you individually or group presentations. And their information is also on the Human Resources website, so please take advantage of the opportunity with them when they're here. And the other thing I put on the table is this sheet, front and back. This is what I use when I meet with someone about retirement, so I thought this would be a good roadmap today. And most of it I'm going to skim. So number 1 is campus notification. We need 30 days, at least 30 days notice as per the UUP contract, and we have a sample letter. Choosing the date for retirement is really, really important. This is your time, and it's not just a date. If you're faculty, you try thinking September 1st, because you work a whole academic year, and every once in a while I'll be meeting with someone and I'll say, well, why are you waiting till then? Why don't you go after the fall semester? And they say, oh, I can do that. And they do it. So that's an option also. If you're not faculty, then you can go any day of the year, but depending on your birth date and your accruals and other variables, it can make a little bit of a difference regarding your benefits, or sometimes big difference, depending on which retirement system you're in. So I spend a lot of time talking with people about the date that they're going to use. So if you're a few years out, that's fine, and we'll start to talk even about, well, spring or summer or 2 years down the road or 3 years down the road. And when we get closer, then we hone in on that specific date. And a lot of people say to me, oh, well, this is going on in my office, or this is happening, or someone's absent, or I need to work on this. And I say, stop, I don't want to hear it. So retirement is your time. You go when it's right for you. You're giving the college notice, and that's the way it should be. If it's important to you to finish a particular project or task, then by all means take that into consideration. But it's your time, and you should go when it's right for you. Whichever retirement system you're in, you're going to work with them directly as far as how and when you're taking your money out and what applications you have to submit. I can give you a little guidance, but mostly you're going to work with them directly. The Survivor Benefit Program is a program that we're generally not aware of because we're enrolled at no cost automatically. It's basically a $3,000 death benefit to whoever you decide is your beneficiary. And in most cases, the beneficiary you designate for your retirement is going to be the same person or people who will be beneficiary for this $3,000. And we take care of that at your retirement meeting as well. Malta already talked about the UUP benefits. So the ever popular sick leave credit. So there's a lot of misinformation about the sick leave credit. Currently, I have to stress currently, when we retire, the cost for our health insurance is the same cost that we pay while we're active. It's just a monthly amount instead of a bi-weekly amount. And our unused sick days are converted to a dollar amount based on our age and our salary, and that's used as a credit to help defray the cost of the health insurance. Sometimes people call me and they say, how many days of sick leave do I have to have so I don't pay anything for health insurance? It doesn't work that way. Kind of did many, many years ago when health insurance didn't cost so much. Even if technically if you have 1 day of sick leave, you would probably have 25 cents or $1 or something towards the cost of your health insurance. And just because you have 200 days doesn't mean that it's going to cover the whole cost. So, for example, so this is an unnamed person. Whatever their retirement date and date of birth is, we'll say that they're making $50,000 and they're 60 years old. And they have 200 days, so their credit is $133.04. Their full credit is $133.04 per month for the rest of their life. It's just a soft dollar. It's not an account with money in it. You can't borrow from it or give it to anybody else. It doesn't stop when you hit a certain age. It's there for your life. So if right now the Empire plan, the family cost is almost $500 per month. So even with 200 days, if you're 60 and you're making $50,000, you'll have $133 towards that. So your cost would be about $358. Just to show you how this can change. If you're good at math, some of these changes are kind of intuitive. If you only have half as many days, you only have half as much credit. If you have twice as much salary, one more zero. Darn this.
Every time.
There we go. If you have twice as much salary, you have twice as much credit. If you are older, don't really pay attention to this number. It's just a number, it doesn't really mean anything. Now your credit goes up a bit also. So the more days, the higher the salary, higher your age. Shows you how it goes. I'm not supposed to say that, but I say it. Okay. It goes up more. Yes, ma'am.
Gail, did you say that this was based on final average salary? The same calculation that you have to put?
This has nothing to do with, good question. Someone asked if this had something to do with final average salary. Final average salary is a term related to your pension if you're in the retirement, New York State employees retirement system or teachers retirement system. And it's an average. This is whatever your salary is on the day that you retire. Currently, if you're part-time, we still use the full-time equivalent. So if you're doing the phased retirement and you're getting paid 50% of your salary, but you're also working 50%. So we still use the full salary. But, I don't know, you decide to change positions for some reason towards the end of your tenure and you take a lower position with a lower salary, then this is going to affect your sick leave claim. So the next popular subject that carries a lot of confusion is Medicare. So for New York State employees, if we are still working when we turn 65, then and we're eligible for benefits, the insurance that we have from the college, an HMO, or the Empire Plan is going to be primary to Medicare. So you turn 65, you're still working, you go to the doctor, you're still going to give them your Empire or HMO card. You will probably enroll in Medicare Part A, which covers hospital expenses, because there's no cost to do that. So if for some reason you have some leftover hospital costs from Empire or HMO, it can flow over to Medicare Part A. Part B, on the other hand, currently costs $135 a month. You can enroll in it when you're 65 and still working and your insurance here is primary, but it's very unlikely that you're going to get any value out of that $135 a month times 12, whatever that is, I don't know, $1,500 or something. Because we have a very rich plan here. Maybe people who work for other employers have insurance, but it's not so good, so that might pay for them to get the Medicare Part B. But for us, typically, it doesn't pay. And what makes it confusing, too, is that as you get close to turning 65, you're going to get bombarded with mail, from what everybody tells me, and we have people here to share their experiences with you. And it's very difficult sometimes to notice, well, is this real or is this Memorex? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Is this real or is it just marketing? So you have to read everything really carefully. And what I believe Social Security does now is, as you approach age 65, they don't know if you're working or not, or if you have other insurance or not. You're just a name and an address on their list of people to mail something to. So they mail you this envelope with a Medicare card that already has your name on it, and it says Medicare A effective whatever the first day of the month of your 65th birthday is, and it'll say Medicare B is effective, and it'll tell you somewhere in the fine print, if you do not want the B, I don't know, sign here and send the card back. If you don't do that, you will have Part B, and you will be paying $135 a month for it. You can cancel it, so you're not stuck with it, but you can't cancel it retroactively. So as you approach age 65, you really have to read everything that you get very carefully. Once you're 65 and you're not working, then yes, you need to enroll in Part B, and Medicare will become primary.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So for those of us that fall into the notch where our retirement age is, we're 65.
Mhm.
Is it still 65, or is it the age of your full retirement benefit from Social Security?
It's still 65 for Medicare. So if you're 65 and you're still working, and now you're 68, and now you're going to retire, when I have the retirement meeting with you, I calculate a transition period and determine the date that Medicare will actually be primary. Has to do with when we get our last paycheck, blah, blah, blah. So And then you will go to Social Security and you will enroll in Medicare Part B make it effective as of that date. And I give you an extra form from the employer that says you didn't need to enroll in Part B when you turned 65 because you already had coverage with your employer. Now that coverage is transitioning, and yes, you can enroll in Part B with no penalty and no late fees. But if you don't do that in that time frame, if, I don't know, you're on vacation or whatever, and you enroll later, you will have penalties and have to pay more. You really have to pay attention to that. Yes, sir.
If God forbid I should not be in the United States, do I have to enroll into Plan B?
62.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I take that back. I guess you would have to talk to Social Security about that. My understanding is yes. It probably depends on a lot of variables, but definitely talk to Social Security. Because you don't want to miss enrolling, because they'll charge you. And once you do enroll, it's very rare, but I've had a couple of people who came to me years later, and for some reason they thought that, oh, I don't need this Medicare anymore because Empire is paying for everything, and they canceled their Part B. And then they had to re-enroll, and it was late, and they had to pay extra money, and it was hard. So don't do that. Yes, ma'am.
So, Gail, if our spouse retires, but they're on our Empire plan, so we're considered full, do they need to get, you know what I'm saying, do they need to get Plan B?
No.
Okay.
So if you have a spouse or a partner on your insurance, and let's say you're 60 and he or she turns 65 and they're on your insurance and you're still working, whether Medicare or Empire is primary for that person is dependent on your employment status. So since you're still working, then Empire is still primary for the spouse or partner.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
For the tax, for the federal tax, you return the date at the end of the year or beginning few days after the year, does that make a difference? Because I heard from the TIAA, they said that it does make a big difference.
As far as taxes go?
Tax, for federal tax, I retired at 29/30 this year, and then or the second of next year, there's a big difference. I don't know. They said that we have to ask at the school. They don't know. They said that they're set true. No?
You'd have to check with your accountant. I don't do taxes.
So there's no difference. Because they,
I'm not saying there is or there isn't. I'm just saying I don't do taxes. So, you'll have to ask an accountant. Definitely.
the TIA people told me we have to ask the school or HR or somebody else. The last day of the year retirement, beginning of the year for retirement, 3 days does make quite a difference.
Well, not to us, but maybe for your taxes, so you have to ask an accountant. Yeah, absolutely.
Based on what you said, I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to confirm. So my spouse works elsewhere, but is currently on my Empire plan. So after he retires, after I retire, and I go through all of this, he can remain on Empire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can, you've chosen, any eligible dependents absolutely can stay on your insurance.
Okay.
I think I have to.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. Do I have time for one more question?
One more question.
One more question.
Absolutely. Is that 200 still the cap in days?
Today it is.
Okay.
Please do, call the office at 2509 to meet with me. You don't have to wait until you're on the verge of retiring. In fact, if you do, I'm gonna slap you on the list.
Figuratively.
Definitely, get in touch.
And Gail will be here afterwards too if you have questions. Mary Ann, would you like to tell us the delights of retirement?
Do it. Yeah, one word, do it. Or 2 words, I guess that is. So, yes, I finished teaching at the end of last spring semester. My official date was September 1 because that's the way our contracts go. But it's been a wonderful year. I highly recommend it. But I was a nervous Nellie about would I be able to afford to retire. I was really, really very nervous. So my preparation involved not only meeting with Gail but also meeting with TIA CREF because I came here for a year in 1985. So I didn't sign up for the New York State Retirement Plan. I have TIA CREF, which is one of the reasons why I was nervous. Would I be able to afford? So I met with them. I met with a financial planner, and they kept saying, you can retire. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But what I did do was I did a 5-year plan. Here's my targeted retirement date. Here's the steps I need to do between now and then. And it included succession planning because I was a program director. So I made that decision and I talked with my chairperson and my designated, the person who I had to convince to take over as director when I left because she was very reluctant to do that. But so I worked toward it. Now I was very fortunate that we had the phased retirement program available, and so I met with Gail about that, and I decided that would be good for me because I could work half-time and still draw a half-time salary, so I wasn't just jumping off the diving board, and so I did that. So from 2017, 2018, I taught half-time and drew half salary, but at least I had something coming in. And I was still actually contributing to my TIA CREF account. So the college was doing that, and I had a supplemental annuity that I was putting money into every single paycheck so that it made me feel a little bit more secure. Well, that was the plan. And in fall of 2017, my first year of this, about the end of September, I said, why am I doing this? You know, I'm enjoying this part of my life more than I'm enjoying this part of my life. And so I met with my chairperson and I resigned effective the end of spring semester. So I only did that for 1 year, but it was a nice transition year for me. Now, what am I doing? Well, as those of you who know me, since 1992 I've been involved with Habitat for Humanity. So one of my things that I wanted to do in retirement is to do more for that organization. So I started doing more the year that I was half-time. And then, you know, one of those volunteer things where everyone, and whoever wants to do this, step forward. And I looked around and everybody had stepped backwards. So I became president of Habitat for Humanity. But I had the time then to do that sort of thing. Let me see, what else? I tried to write down things that I was doing because I knew I wouldn't remember everything. So Habitat was one of the big things. Those of you who know me at all know how involved I am with my grandchildren. So it gave me more time to go to soccer games, football games, 2 basketball teams, and softball and Little League games. Okay, so great. One of the things I got for retirement is a hat that says Grandma's Taxi. So I'm doing that a lot more. The other thing it's allowed me to do is, I'm leaving tomorrow for Ohio. Once a month I go to help take care of my mother for a week, to relieve my sisters of that responsibility. So it's allowed me to do that. I couldn't do that except on breaks before retiring. So that's really allowed, and it's allowed me to really develop some different relationship with my mom too. So that's been really nice. I can't tell you how many novels I've read since I retired. I average about 3 or 4 a week. So I'm spending a lot of time reading. I love to read. So that's been something. I'm much more involved in my church activities, so that's another thing that's important to me, and on committees and working on various things with the church. And I'm getting involved a little bit with CCAL. If some of you aren't familiar with that, it's that educational type of experiences, fun educational experiences for, you don't have to be retired, but it's for older adults. And so I've taken classes and I've taught classes in that, so that's been something else that's sort of kept me a little bit busy. This morning I went to the gym, so yes, Nancy and I were there. Yeah. I've been going to the gym for ages and ages and ages, but now I can actually plan. I usually plan my class schedule around my gym classes, but now I'm able to go more often. And so that really is helping me to stay a little bit stronger, a little more flexible, and that sort of thing. That's sort of what I'm doing right now, and I'm enjoying it a whole lot. You asked about taking TIAA CREF. One of the things that I did not start taking TIAA CREF until January this year, because I knew last year I made half salary. I did start collecting Social Security, so I had saved money and lived on that and my Social Security until January, because that now TIAA CREF money will come out of next year's taxes, so hopefully it won't be such a tax burden. Do you have a question?
You just answered it, whether you decided to take Social Security again.
The interesting thing, I did not know this until I actually went down and talked to the people at Social Security when I was ready to start drawing it. Because I waited as long as I did to retire, if you're over your minimum age, you can actually get a retroactive lump sum payment. So with looking at up to 6 months, depending on how many extra years you worked. So they said, gee, would you like a 6 months lump sum payment and then a smaller amount every month? Or do you want the full amount now and just go with that? Well, I looked at it, I did the math, and by taking the lump sum payments, it'll be 9 years before I've used that little extra bit up every month. So I took the lump sum, which meant I could do some repairs on my house and do some things that I've been wanting to do. I used to work every summer, and the money from summer school went to do projects at the house. So I used that to do some of that. And if anybody knows an electrician will actually show up, I've got some more money left. That's the one thing I haven't been able to get to yet. Anything else? Any other questions?
A friend of mine once said, told me, Lorraine, life is what happens while you're planning. So one of the things you want to be aware in retirement is there'll be lots of little lumps along the way, same as there was in the rest of your life up to retirement, but there'll be great spans of great joy. So thank you all for coming.
I just have one. If you go like 50% time, does that affect how much you pay for benefits or what the overall benefits and everything?
I don't think it
So your cost will still be the same, so you'll be like a full-time employee with benefits, but you'll just be getting a half-time salary.
Well, and
You're only working half time.
No, that's what I mean. No, I'm just.
I frown on paying for health.
Yeah, no, so I got all my usual benefits in that, and all the deductions came out.
Right, that's what I mean. Everything will be the same essentially. It's just you're only working.
There's an entire guidelines there.
One of the things that I didn't know until we talked about this with Gail is that phased retirement is a campus program. It's not a UUP benefit. It's not a SUNY benefit. So we don't know with the new president and new provost if it will be offered again. But if it is, please find out. Yeah, I would say keep asking about it so they'll know we want it. Because it was a great transition time for me and for my department because they could plan. They could make plans.
Any other questions for any of our panelists? Thank you so much for coming.